on record. It also said the whole trial is wrong in law. Per the convict's assertions, the trial judge denied her fair trial by calling her to prove her innocence when prosecution had insufficient evidence, contrary to Article 19, Clause 2C of the 1992 Constitution. Agrada also claims that the judge demonstrated bias and personal animosity towards her by persistently engaging in confrontations, harassment, and intimidation of the lawyers in open court, thereby denying her adequate and effective representation.
Investigations are still underway to ascertain the cause of a fire on Tuesday behind the VVIP station at the Kwame Nkrumah Circle. More than 50 shops were razed. The fire incident has raised many questions on encroachment within the enclave. The Ayawaso East Municipal Assembly, in collaboration with the stakeholders, is planning a major decongestion exercise at the Kwame Nkrumah Circle to roster ease of access due to poor planning within the market, which significantly hampered firefighting efforts. GBC News Confidence Chikudu visited the Kwame Nkrumah Circle in the aftermath of the fire outbreak.
It's barely 24 hours after the devastating fire outbreak at the Kwame Nkrumah Circle, close to the VVIP station. And we've had traders and others come here to retrieve their losses. We are here currently to speak to one or two to know measures put in place in order to bring back the good lives of the people who were living here.
We called on our Member of Parliament, Honorable Abdulrauf Tubasu, who is the current MP for Ayawaso Central, because this electoral area falls under the constituency. So he was here to console with the victims. So yesterday we came in and it was so sad. We have lost a lot of properties and then money. We're able to at least organize ourselves well to put things in place so that we'll be able to maintain them. As at now, you are here and we are trying to organize the place again, rebuild it, and then we'll bring them back. The municipal chief executive, together with the MP, we have come together and we have taken a proper data of every single person who has lost something from this place. So what we are going to do is we are going forward to take their Ghana cards, then we'll bring them together, and then we'll see how best we can solve the problem.
As a municipal assembly, our duty is to come and clear the place, to put the place in order. So that is what we are doing. We are collecting all the rubbles, the debris around, to put the place in order.
I say for good measures. You see how you dimension. You make sure say from right now, food sellers, food joint 41 side, accessories 41 side. Name demarcation na point and that. Me assemblyman, your MC aba, your MP aba, the ya dream back say, we boom, not just a cry, yes, you bet me a boom, they are starting amu ejumano, ya amomu.
The people here are hoping for a change within the shortest possible time.
The Ghana Immigration Service, GIS, will soon roll out an initiative dubbed Secure Our Borders to mobilize resources to fortify the country's borders and address logistical and infrastructural challenges confronting the service. At a meeting with the Minister for the Interior, Alhaji Muntaka Mohammed Mubarak, the chairman of the GIS Governing Council, Reverend Stephen Wengam, said the service is facing challenges, especially at its border operations, which calls for the support of the citizenry to tackle.
Members of the Governing Council of the Ghana Immigration Service, led by its chairman, Reverend Stephen Wengam, was at the Ministry of Interior to brief the sector minister on the Secure Our Borders initiative, which the Ghana Immigration Service will soon be implementing to help secure the country's borders and mobilize public and private sector support to help address logistical and infrastructure challenges confronting the service. Reverend Wengam highlighted the need for stronger border security, institutional reforms, and improved officer welfare. He said the council is committed to strengthening the service through policy reforms, modernization, and strategic partnerships.
The council is taking this bold initiative to launch a project aimed at mobilizing resources through public and private sector support to address the pressing challenges confronting the service. We are proposing the name Project SECOBOL, the acronym of Secure Our Borders. This is to highlight Council's proactive role in addressing the pressing challenges, and we are here to seek your wisdom, your counsel on this initiative.
The Minister for the Interior, Alhaji Muntaka Mohamed Mubarak, reaffirmed government's commitment to strengthening the Ghana Immigration Service. He emphasized the use of technology and anti-agency collaboration to improve border surveillance and migration management.
We can assure you of our full support. You can always count on us, knowing very well that we have your back and will support you. If our country will be safe, it will start with you. Well, even for those who are familiar with what happens at the borders, even the military are behind you. They go behind you. You are the first point of contact. You have to clear people, and then if there are challenges, then the military can support you. So we cannot neglect the sacrifices that you are making in not providing the necessary logistics to help you protect all of us.
The Governing Council presented a Transformational Leadership Award to the Sector Minister in recognition to his contributions to the growth and modernization of the Ghana Immigration Service.
Takoradi's Kokompe Auto Mechanic Enclave is sounding the alarm. Artisans are crying out for tighter security. For them, police presence or dedicated station could be the answer to stem the tide of nighttime theft. They complain that their tools and spares are vanishing and it's crippling their livelihoods, and they have asked whether the authorities will hear their plea.
The Kokompe artisans are at their wits' end. They say they need security personnel to protect their equipment and stores. According to them, the theft scourge has dragged on for years, with goods, tools and auto parts vanishing from workshops, especially under cover of night. The chairman of the Western Regional Association of Garages, Mr. Justice Joe Aite, says it's as though the thieves are always on standby. He recalls a recent midnight call saying the cables and wires had been ripped off 25 cars. The artisans are hurting and are not backing down.
Cars be because who told new wire car no the wire car na car into me started. It for some say ya call chief executive for lawyer Fedu ho. I was our corner some home in ya kobana mane nti ehwe so metu hana mo. Omuntu na mo dia and ya family and ya chose the man mention and the mechanic factor because obi ka about 2 billion no wire na can condemn dia
A vehicle spare parts dealer said last year thieves broke into his shops and stole all the car oil stored.
Well, last year you go fire, you go cry oil buy. Oh, you be your store at the Cope Junction home. I go for boom for oil nina. I am your bacocra. There is a police for another boy. Oma Buana, Oma Bapetra, and also security post to answer my The
artisans are sounding the alarm. They are worried that the theft crisis is crippling their livelihoods. They are crying out for urgent government intervention. Their plea is for the authorities to step in before it's too late.
News ahead, don't go away.
Some 2026. High sense was here from America crazy. Na ya dagana for you nasi. Yenim pase. Jidia wanya we mu na oni edigwa no. Eno na abua ma high sense. Ye do some pepens we. Se wo hu de enko ya wo boy amane. Onu kredie. Ene se mo boy ye chidom. Ahye ye crime ama ye hihye niema kama e de brem. Technology and the bro fee, with terrible boom. Your customer service no so. Ya show mukutupan. Ye a check and I pay a one say about the quality home appliances and electronics are high sense chino. Moko bay. Oh, anyway, 2026. I am no me in afi. I did buy a new mama so our high sense. High sense. Everyday prices for everyday people.
MedShay, natural mosquito repellent, highly recommended by Ministry of Health, CHAS and GES, lab tested by Noguchi Medical, field trialed by Atomic Energy Commission. It has no chemical or side effects and is good for all ages and skin type. MedShay is available nationwide. Contact us on 0244892413. This advert is approved by FDA.
Welcome back. Now let's talk business. The quarterly multidimensional poverty report by the Ghana Statistical Service shows that poverty rate has dropped from 24.9% in 2024 to 21.9% in 2025. That is, the number of people in the poverty bracket has reduced to 7.2 million from 8.2 million.
The latest report by the Ghana Statistical Service focused on how households experience poverty beyond income. It tracks deprivation in areas such as health, education, housing, sanitation, employment, and access to basic utilities. The government statistician, Dr. Alhassan Idrisu, identified health, education, employment, and living conditions as the key factors contributing the most to poverty.
What this tells us is that stable jobs reduce poverty, and informal and insecure work increases vulnerability. So job creation is not enough. We need decent jobs. That's why usually when the labor unions are calling for some progress in the labor space, they are not just talking about jobs, but they are talking about what? Decent jobs. And the study we have done actually shows that decent jobs are extremely important.
Dr. Idrisi noted that while government interventions such as free senior high school, school feeding program, the National Health Insurance Scheme are yielding results, the data shows the need for more targeted and data-driven interventions, especially as resources remain limited.
In very simple terms, these indicators ask, are people living in safe and decent housing? Are they overcrowded? Do they have electricity? Do they have a toilet? Do they have health insurance? Are children attending school? Are people employed? This gives us a fuller picture of well-being.
The Ghana Statistical Service says the report forms part of Ghana's efforts to track progress towards SDG Target 1.2 and to reduce poverty in a more targeted and inclusive manner.
Over 1,000 young people in the northern region have been enrolled in a practical skills training program aimed at improving employability and reducing youth unemployment. The initiative funded by the MasterCard Foundation and implemented by the Design Technology Institute is designed to equip participants with hands-on skills that meet the demands of today's job market.
We will fully operationalize the 7 agro-processing plants in the northern, central, Ahafo, Bono East, northeast, western north regions in the following value chains: yam, fish, poultry, cashew, nuts, rice, shea butter, and palm kernel oil. The Exim Bank, under the direction of His Excellency John Dramani Mahama, will put together 2 cashew factories, one in the Bono East and one in the Bono region. We grow a lot of cashew, and so the closer the factory to the raw material, the better the effective cost of production and less transportation, just to mention a few. So this is also going to happen 2026. 2026 is a busy year for trade, agribusiness, and industry, a successful year for that matter, and we look forward to making sure that the benefits inure to the general public.
Time now for Interbank and Commodities.
And Namum was a summer brabo. And can afford na swabrabo. Can no na anti sacro. So would this case ye? And I said, Uchen Sika, our lorry station. Na a year and home say. Neso and ne. Momo see.
Misaka pensions, Caro.
Misaka order Sika.
Misaka.
Misaka insurance no.
Misaka alone.
Momo Fogosuri ye echumaden. Diaboye nyina ye sika ho ban. Se MTN ana momo jumaye ni befrewa. Or the 0244 300,000 ene befrew. Na numpo orin bitsaw one-time password. Ana se upin code. Enti wonso ye wa femu je na ma weni na ho na wonsa enka wo mu.
MedShay, natural mosquito repellent, highly recommended by Ministry of Health, CHAS and GES, lab tested by Noguchi Medical, field trialed by Atomic Energy Commission. It has no chemical or side effects and is good for all ages and skin type. MedShay is available nationwide. Contact us on 0244892413. This advert is approved by
Maswada pana chale ma Jimmy Mixi. Etina bontin na me feel frisky. We from me na me from pa chale lessi. Mixi chane hot. E ma me feel good na sasu ye testy. Me num no studio am in ko oski. Choko no me tia na me ne me bestie. Mixi chane hot. It's sweet oh. Great new taste for the inside. Unu mo banu a hu. Ya ka when hot water pet. Mixi chane hot. Ide bi yo. Chroma is into the my guy. Unu mo banu a hu. Eba pesta jai. Master channel mixi oh mixi. Great new taste there mixi. Choco mixi coffee. Ninya na ube feel. Mixi oh mixi. Great new taste there mixi. Choco mixi coffee. FDA aje edwedi enkrato ya tu.
You're welcome to the Energy News segment on News Hour. My name is Mabel Anang. Star Oil has suspended its membership of the Chamber of Oil Marketing Companies, COMAC, citing a deepening dispute over the petroleum price floor policy. According to the company, it opted to withdraw indefinitely after what it described as unfair representation of its position on the fuel price floor issue. Star Oil called for the abolition of the price floor, a policy that sets minimum fuel prices, arguing it distorts market pricing and limits how quickly international price declines reach consumers. The company said its position on the issue has not been given balanced coverage, leading to damaging perceptions about its motives. It stressed that its objection is grounded in economic principles and seeks fair competition for the benefit of consumers. COMAC and other stakeholders have maintained support for the price floor, arguing that it protects market stability and prevents predatory pricing, which could harm smaller players. COMAC board has been meeting on the issue, and the chamber is expected to officially come out with its position on the fuel price floor debate. The Ministry of Trade and Agribusiness and Industry has signed a memorandum of understanding with Shenzhen New Jikou of China for the establishment of an electric vehicle assembling plant in Ghana. Speaking at Government's Accountability Series in Accra, the Minister for Trade and Agribusiness and Industry, Madam Elizabeth Ofusui-Jari, said the agreement underscores the ministry's commitment to attracting new investments while also supporting existing investors to expand and deepen their operations in the country.
The Ministry of Trade, Agribusiness and Industry, led by myself, was able to sign an MOU with Shenzhen New Jikou of China for the establishment of an EV assembly plant. They are in Ghana, they've acquired their land, development far advanced for the factory to start. There's also ongoing discussion with Sherry International to establish an EV assembly plant. This is also as a result of our visit to China and the things we're able to do. It is the policy of the Ministry of Trade, Agribusiness and Industry, not only to look for new investment, but also to encourage existing ones to expand. And so when the president asked me to represent him in China on the China-African Summit, I took advantage of that time to visit existing companies in China and to encourage them to upskill. I'm happy to announce that as a result of that, the Sunda Company Limited has added one line to their pad manufacturing. It was opened by the Vice President and myself.
Still on energy news, erratic power supply in the Sunyani municipality, which started yesterday, Tuesday, 20th January 2026, is expected to continue until the cause of the challenge is identified and resolved, according to the officials of NEDCO in the Sunyani area. Though the exact fault is yet to be identified, they are aware the challenge is with their transformers. Our Bono regional correspondent, John Samartha, has more in this report.
So yesterday, the people of Sunyani and its environs started experiencing erratic power supply. So today, the NEDCO VRA have invited us for a briefing on what the challenge is. The Sunyani area manager of NEDCO, Engineer Eugene Adokwe Ado, has the details.
A deeper assessment showed that one of the power transformers that we had at the yard had become faulty, okay, and was unable to supply power to the Sunyani communities in Sunyani. Yes, so
Mr. Eugene Odwe Ado also revealed that until the challenge is resolved, the 42% of power available to the Sunyani area will have to be rationed.
Every customer to experience at least some 8 hours of power a day. Okay, so that's the general thing we are doing. About some will experience more, but at least 8 hours of power in a day, and it will alternate morning, afternoon, evening, morning, afternoon, in that order. For now.
So from the news conference, the VRA and GRIDCO officials have brought us down to the GRIDCO switchyard to see the challenge for ourselves. And as you can see in the background, the officials are working on trying to isolate the problem, discovering the problem that has caused this challenge with power supply. Engineer Eche Mauli is the Techiman area manager of Gridco, and he told us more about what they are doing.
In fact, the biggest transformer we have in the switchyard here. Yesterday in the evening it failed. So the Gridco team was informed, and quickly we have to come on site and assess the situation. As you can currently see, the men behind me are assessing a component on the transformer. In fact, we actually started our assessment throughout yesterday.
So now the situation is clearer. Until the VRA and Gridco engineers are able to diagnose the problem and resolve it, the people of Sunyani will have to live with power rationing for now. For GBC News, John Samatha in Sunyani.
Or for Energy News, Health News is up next. My name is Mabel Anand. Thanks for watching.
Introduce to you Cancer Mixture, a herbal mixture for arthritic pain.
Arthritis, it's me. Cancer Mixture, no, Cancer Mixture, no, Cancer Mixture.
Yeruba Biarana no drew Morio ya or arthritis. Cancer Mixture, obey your juma when you put it inside. I'm a face in the gun.
And in Fidriana menu on your mapping for your button. I want one menu for. First, baby, I'm from one Sanka, saying and Susan, Bonnie Biara, home doctor, and I report for FDA Med Safety App Nodo.
And Katui, FDA App Nodo.
Welcome to the health segment. An alleged quack lab technician has been arrested, a medical laboratory shut down, and hospital staff members flagged for operating illegally. This happened on day one of an unannounced inspection by the Allied Health Professions Council.
Described by the Council as the most extensive inspection and monitoring exercise, the year-long inspection began with disturbing discoveries that point to systemic regulatory breakdowns within parts of the health sector. At steps to Christ Hospital at Kolibu, inspectors uncovered a man allegedly masquerading as a laboratory scientist and sonographer, performing sensitive diagnostic procedures without the requisite training and certification.
We will monitor you 24/7. We have people security to monitor you. If you see any patient being scanned by any machine in that room, or this gentleman scanning anybody, or taking samples of anybody to do laboratory study, in effect, the second angle will be applied where you have continuously refused to obey the rule. But for the meantime, your gentleman who is not a professional, but practicing as a professional, will have to go with that to the police station.
In another enforcement action, Alma Medical Laboratory at Mamprobi was shut down immediately after the team noticed its failure to meet the basic operational and licensing requirements expected of a medical diagnostic facility.
Up to December 31st, not a single facility that doesn't fit for purpose will be allowed to operate. We will shut them down if they don't have the professionals, if they don't have the standard of practice code. They actually don't even have any document that shows that they are providing those services.
And at the Mamprobi Hospital, inspectors identified 6 personnel in the medical records department operating without valid licenses.
I will personally be involved in monitoring what happened. I'll report this to NRA and then HIFRA. And at the same time, for the medical records place, they have to close down until they have qualified people to work with it.
Facilities cited for regulatory breaches were shut down on the spot, bringing business to an abrupt halt. As a result, some workers knocked off earlier than usual on what could be called an unscheduled short leave. Enjoyable in timing, but definitely not in reason. For GBC News, John Guama Amano reporting.
The segment was brought to you by Yamvita and Kansid. Welcome back. On the foreign front, Togo has arrested and extradited Burkina Faso's former leader to his home country after authorities in Ouagadougou accused him of plotting to kill his successor, Paul Henri Sandaogo Dambia, who came to power in a coup in 2022 before himself being overthrown by Ibrahim Traoré 8 months later, is accused by the current regime of masterminding an assassination attempt against Traoré.
According to the Togolese Justice Ministry, Mr. Damiba was handed over to the Burkinabe authorities. It says as part of the deal, Burkina Faso promised to ensure fiscal integrity, dignity and fair trial rights of Mr. Paul Henri Sandaogo Damiba and the absence of the death penalty. Among the charges leveled at Mr. Damiba by Burkina Faso's military government are criminal embezzlement of public funds, illicit enrichment, corruption, aggravated receiving of stolen goods, and money laundering. Earlier this month, Burkina Faso's Security Minister Mahamadou Sana announced on state television that security forces had foiled a planned series of targeted assassinations aimed at destabilizing the state, including what he called the neutralization of Traoré. Officials in Ouagadougou have repeatedly accused Mr. Damiba of orchestrating plots from exile. Mr. Damiba first seized power in January 2022, toppling the elected government of Roch Marc Christian Kabore amid frustration over the state's failure to curb Islamist violence. But after just 8 months, he was himself overthrown by Mr. Traoré, then a 34-year-old artillery officer who accused him of failing to deliver security improvements.
The man who killed Japan's former Prime Minister Shinzo Abe has been sentenced to life in prison 3.5 years after he shot him dead at a rally in the city of Nara in 2022. Tetsuya Yamagami had pleaded guilty to murder charges at the trial's opening last year, but how he should be punished has divided public opinion in Japan.
See the 45-year-old as a cold-blooded murderer. Some sympathize with his troubled upbringing. Prosecutors said Yamagami deserved life imprisonment for the grave act. Mr. Abe's assassination stunned the country, where there is virtually no gun crime. Seeking leniency, Yamagami's defense team said he was a victim of religious abuse. Mr. Shinzo Abe's shocking death in broad daylight prompted investigations into the Unification Church and its questionable practices, including soliciting financially ruinous donations from its followers. The case also exposed links with politicians from Japan's ruling Liberal Democratic Party and resulted in the resignation of several cabinet ministers. The murder of Japan's most recognizable public figure at the time, Shinzo Abe remains the longest-serving prime minister in Japanese history and has sent shockwaves around the world.
In sports, Maud Benson, Ghana's newly crowned women's #1 chess player, is living a moment she once only imagined. Standing tall as Ghana's women's #1 chess player, Maud is now setting her sights on an even bigger dream, leading to Golden Knights, Ghana's women's national chess team, onto the world stage at the 46th World Chess Olympiad in Samarkand.
So she won West Africa. In an emotional reflection on her journey, Maud Benson opened up about what it means to rise to the top of a sport often dominated by men, relying not on physical strength, but on strategy, discipline, and mental toughness. From learning the basics of chess at a young age to competing in high-pressure tournaments, Benson says the route has been demanding but deeply rewarding. Becoming the nation's #1 female chess player, she says it's both an honor and a responsibility. Benson believes her success should inspire young girls across the country to see chess as a space where they can dream, compete, and excel.
So I've been playing chess for about 10 years, and for almost all my 10 years, I've never won the gold before. This is my first time in 10 years winning the gold medal, and it's been a journey, of self-growth, and I'm really grateful for all the work I put in. I'm glad that everything paid off in the end.
She also called for greater support for chess development in Ghana, especially at the grassroots level, noting that early exposure and mentorship can unlock hidden talent. As she looks ahead to regional and international competitions, Maud Benson remains focused, grounded, and motivated, determined to fly Ghana's flag higher on the global chess stage whilst encouraging the next generation to think boldly and move with confidence. Woman candidate master Maud Benson will lead Ghana's 5-member team, the Golden Knights, onto the world stage at the 46th World Chess Olympiad in Samarkand, Uzbekistan later this year.
We're going to put in the work and we're going to make Ghana proud.
The members are young sensation with ham, woman candidate master Gertrude Banini, Doche Jijo, AC, and Doche Sumia Ibrahim.
The vice chairman of the local organizing committee for the 15th African Arm Wrestling Championship, Dr. Kofi Addo-Agyekum, has made a passionate appeal to the Minister for Sports and Recreation, Mr. Kofi Adams, to use his office to rally corporate Ghana behind the hosting of the continental event. Dr. Addo-Agyekum stressed that hosting Africa's finest arm wrestlers is not only a sporting responsibility, but a national opportunity to showcase Ghana's organizational strength, hospitality, and commitment to sports development.
The Organizing Committee for the 15th Africa Arm Wrestling Championship believes corporate Ghana stands to gain significantly by associating with the event. For them, the two-day championship will attract athletes, officials, and fans from across the continent. And as such, the championship offers branding, visibility, and long-term value for businesses willing to invest in Ghana's growing sports industry. The vice chairman of the local organizing committee for the 15th Africa Arm Wrestling Championship, Dr. Kofi Addo-Agyekum, expressed confidence that with the sports minister's leadership and influence, the private sector can be inspired to partner the local organizing committee in areas such as logistics, accommodation, equipment, and athlete welfare. He described Mr. Kofi Adams as a key advocate for sports growth whose intervention could unlock meaningful public-private collaboration.
Honorable Minister, let me say without hesitation that you have been a father to us ever since you assumed office. And we want to count on that fatherhood responsibility one more time. Ghana is going to play host to Africa, and we are hopeful that first of all you would lead us to meet His Excellency the President of the Republic of Ghana, John Dramani Mahama, so that he will really bless Team Ghana to host and win. And secondly, we are also expecting you, per what you said, to assist us in drawing the requisite attention to corporate Ghana to support Ghana Arm Wrestling in our bid to host and win. Let me not sound so political, but they say you can't deviate from the Holy Book, Ecclesiastes 19:10, that money answers everything. And we are counting on you to help us generate enough financial resources to be able to host this particular event so beautifully to your honor. So you can you can celebrate your birthday with you. I thank you so very much.
Hosting the tournament, according to Dr. Addo-Agyekum, will motivate young athletes, create opportunities for local officials, and strengthen Ghana's standings within African sports administration. The 15th Africa Arm Wrestling Championship is fixed for the 1st and 2nd of May this year in Accra.
In entertainment, Accra's creative energy was on full display as the Accra Art District opened its doors to a vibrant learning experience in traditional art. Visitors gathered to participate in hands-on tie and dye making and art molding sessions designed to teach, inspire, and preserve Ghanaian culture.
From the moment participants arrived, the space was filled with color, texture, and excitement. Fabrics were folded, tied, and dipped into dye, while clay was carefully shaped by eager hands under the guidance of experienced artists. The tie and dye sessions introduced participants to indigenous textile techniques, producing bold patterns that reflect Ghana's rich artistic heritage. In another session of the Accra Arts District, art molding classes allowed participants to explore form and creativity, turning raw clay into meaningful works inspired by tradition and personal expression. Organizers say the Accra Art District is not an exhibition center, but a creative learning hub. Interested individuals are required to register and attend structured class sessions where they receive practical training and direct mentorship from professional artists. According to the organizers, the initiative is aimed at building skills, empowering creatives, and providing a space where art is learned, practiced, and appreciated rather than simply displayed. For many participants, the experience offered more than just art making. It provided an opportunity to connect with culture, discover hidden talent, and gain a deeper appreciation for Ghana's creative industries. As interest in creative education continues to grow, the Accra Art District is positioning itself as a key space for nurturing talent and sustaining Ghana's artistic traditions.
That's all in this package. We will be back at 10 p.m. with News Tonight. Thanks for your time. Good evening.
In 1965, Ghana chose her own value. From cowries and pounds, the city was born. Our pride in our own hands.